it matters that you do this today because it helps you organize your thoughts and it helps you understand the collection of things in your mind and how that collection of things is relevant to the life you want to live. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, body, and spirit. I know that when a lot of people look up spirituality videos, when a lot of people look up things like the 555 technique or like manifesting, I know that a lot of times this comes from a place of wanting to change something in your life immediately, maybe even overnight. So today's video is about a couple of things that you can do to literally change your life overnight, and not change it for the worst or not change it and put yourself on a path not relevant to what you want, but how to change your life in a way that pushes you towards the life that you'd like for yourself. I know I don't have to say this, but I feel like it's just common courtesy. This is my channel, so everything that I say on my channel is just my opinion. I understand that different people may have different opinions or they might see things a little bit differently, and that's okay. But now we are going to continue on with what I think can change your life. In order to be able to control the circumstances of your life, you must be able to recognize and understand the things in your life that are in your power. The only way to control your life and to control the direction that your life is going is to have an understanding of the things that you can control and an understanding of the things that are outside of your power. When you have a good understanding of the things you can control, you can focus your energy on those things, as opposed to being a person who can be victimized by all of the outside factors of things that can happen in our life that we usually have no control over. When we don't confirm within our mind that we don't have control over certain things, when things happen, we can feel guilty, we can feel angry, we can feel helpless, because in our mind we think that there was something that we could have done to stop that from happening. So in order to start this journey of changing your life overnight, you need to commit yourself to focusing your energy on the things in your life that are in your control. So we have 3 things that we're talking about today. 3 things that will help you change your life overnight. The first thing is defining who you want to be. This is so important because if you don't have an idea of the person that you want to be, you don't have a reference for when situations happen and you have to make a decision on how you'd like to react. Knowing who you want to be helps you understand where you're moving. It helps you figure out what choices you want to make, and it also helps you figure out when there are things inside of your life that do not belong there or that do not contribute to the growth that you want to push you in a certain direction. Defining who you'd like to be is very, very easy. Super simple. All I think you have to do is journal, script. Have some fun, use your imagination, create a description of who you want to be, who is your highest self, who is the perfect version of you. It doesn't really matter if this is the person you turn out to be in 5 years or if this is the person you turn out to be in 10 years. It matters that you do this today because it helps you organize your thoughts and it helps you understand the collection of things in your mind and how that collection of things is relevant to the life you want to live. So in order to define who you want to be, I think it's really cool to just journal and to define the social status that you'd like, where you'd like to live, how much money you want to make, the type of job you want to have, the type of friends you want to have, the types of environments you'd like to hang out in. Defining all of these things really helps you paint a picture of who you want to be. And seeing that person in your mind can give you so much motivation and can give you so much strength, especially when situations come into your life that you feel like you shouldn't be dealing with in the first place. The second action that you must take in order to change your life overnight is to constantly ask yourself, does this serve me? We live in a society where we are raised to pay attention to everyone and everything outside of ourselves. We are raised by the society to believe that in order to have a sense of self, we need to understand what others think of us, and we need to understand who we are to the outside world. When, in my opinion, in order to have a good sense of self, you need to look inward. And all the things that you find inside of yourself are actually what create the reflection of your reality. So by asking yourself constantly, does this serve me? You're able to constantly check in and see if situations that happen in your life serve you, to see whether certain conversations serve you, to see whether certain thoughts and emotions serve you. And if the thoughts and emotions do not serve you, you're able to stop and say, well, why am I experiencing them? Why am I choosing to think these things? Why am I choosing to say these things? Why am I choosing to end up in these situations that do not serve me or my life's greater purpose? And I know a lot of people might think, okay, well, if I'm always asking myself, does this serve me? Am I always being selfish? And I really want to address that. Helping other people and being kind and generous serves you. Because being kind and generous to our fellow human beings feels good because it's the right thing to do. But there's always a fine line between being kind and generous and being taken advantage of. And I know that because that was a really hard lesson that I personally had to learn. So understanding the difference between being kind and being taken advantage of comes when you realize that one of these two things will serve you and one of these two things will deplete your energy. So that's why it's so important to ask yourself, does this serve me? Asking yourself, does this serve me, also will help you break bad habits. For example, spending money is necessary because money flows. Money has to flow. You cannot hoard your money or else it will not flow, and you can start to develop a lack mindset even when you have all of the money in your bank account. So money needs to flow. So if you have money and you are spending money, let's say that you don't really have too much of a understanding of how to make your money serve you, how to make your money work for you. So let's say you have a closet full of shoes. You love sneakers, and sneakers make you feel great. But there's also a concert coming into town and you want to spend some money. So you can ask yourself, do I want to buy these shoes? Will another pair of shoes serve me? Or will buying tickets to this concert serve me? It depends on your personality. I can't answer that for you. If you're a collector and you get so much thrill out of collecting something, then buying the shoes serve you. But if you've just been buying the shoes because you take pride in this collection and it really just feeds your ego, then it's possible that the concert will serve you more because it'll be an experience. But the thing is, you won't ever know unless you ask yourself. You won't ever know unless you look inward and figure out what will serve you, because nobody else can tell you what serves you. The last thing I'd like to say regarding asking, does this serve me, is also analyzing your thoughts. Analyzing when your emotions shift and then going back to your mind and figuring out what you're thinking in that moment that made your emotions shift. A lot of times we can be really hard on ourselves and the thoughts that are in our head reflect that. So if you're thinking something, you got to hold on to, does this serve me? Because there is always a difference between degrading ourselves and constructive criticism. There is always a difference between focusing on our flaws and figuring out how we can change our behavior to be better. So if you find that you're thinking things about yourself, stop and figure out if you're thinking things that serve you. If your brain is working in a way that serves you or in a way that pushes you towards depression. A lot of the times this is not something that will change overnight, and you can't tell your brain like, hey, I want to wake up different. I want to wake up tomorrow and just love myself completely, if that's not the way that you've thought all your entire life. But the way to make a change overnight is to commit yourself to thinking thoughts that serve you. So when the negative thoughts come in, you have a filter. And I'm not saying turn a blind eye to these thoughts, because a lot of times these thoughts do have significance. So you can hear the thought and you might think something like, oh, I look so fat today and unkempt. I do not look nice today. And you can hear that thought and you could think, does this thought serve me? And in your mind, you could say, no, I wouldn't call another person fat. Why am I calling myself fat? But then you think, but what from this phrase can serve me? Maybe you just feel like you're not loving your body enough. Maybe you decide, hey, I can go to a yoga class tonight, or I can run a mile or go to the gym and, take a class at the gym. You can figure out how you can use the information that negative thought bought you to serve yourself, to serve what your mind is telling you that you need. It all starts with asking yourself, does this serve me? And if not, how can I make it? Oh, I've been talking forever. Okay, the last thing, the last thing that can help you change your life overnight is analyzing what parts of your problems are self-made, especially by fear. A lot of times when we feel this need to change our lives, when we feel this need to change something right now, it's because one or two things in our lives is not serving us and is not making us happy. So reference that part of your life. Really look at it, observe the biggest thing in your life that is making you unhappy, and figure out what parts of that situation is based off of your perspective. Because a lot of us have problems, but a problem that I have, another person may not consider to be a problem. And that's because all of our perception is different. And sometimes we can obsess over things so much that every single day that we're dealing with the problem seems heavier and heavier and heavier. And not because the problem's getting worse, but because our attention to the problem is getting more intense. So look at your problems and figure out what parts of your problems are self-made and based off of your perception, because that will make the problem seem a lot less drastic than it is. And by making the problem seem less drastic in your mind, you're allowing your mind to relax. And a lot of times when our mind relaxes, we find immediate solutions. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like this video is really awesome because I'm channeling more, because I haven't cut a lot out. I've literally just been talking. I feel like I'm speaking to you guys a little bit differently. I feel like I am just channeling, which is great. But I'm saying a lot and I'm stuttering a lot. So please excuse me. So really fast, let's talk about a person's living situation. Let's say that you are really upset because you're not happy with your living situation. Everything else in your life is great, but you just want to change your life overnight and you just want to move because your living situation makes you so upset, right? So let's say that you don't think your house is nice enough, and if you just moved to a nicer place, your life would be better. You can really start to look at by what standard you're holding your home up to. And then you can figure out if you're being grateful for your home. And then all of a sudden, the home is not that big of a problem anymore. You can say, I hate my roommates. I hate living with roommates. If I just moved out and had my own place, my life would be so much better. I want to make my life better overnight by moving and getting away from my roommates. When you can flip your perspective and see that having roommates is often a lesson in personal power, how to hone your personal power and how to control it. Because that's literally what I think roommates are here to teach us. Or even if you hate the city you live in, it might not be the house. Let's say you hate the city you live in and you're just like, there are no job opportunities here for me. I don't feel like there's any growth here for me. I hate this city. I just want to change my life. You are a free person. There are jobs everywhere. Move. And you can change your life overnight by thinking about why up until this point you've decided to not move. What are you afraid of? What's holding you back? Figuring that out will help you change your life overnight. It might not give you the physical manifestation in your hands, but that's not what's important. The physical manifestations are really cool and are really great, but what really makes things change, what really makes things move are the thoughts that we have in our mind and the growth that we experience within our own lives so that we can think differently, so that our lives can become different. I'm really geeked. I'm just really happy to be giving you this information. So that is all I have for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. I hope I gave you all the keys to changing your life overnight. I really wish that I had this information when I was 22 or 23, but hey, I have it now, so it is what it is. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows that it's valuable and that other people should watch it. If you'd like me to expand on anything that I've talked about, just leave a comment below and I'll be happy to. And last but not least, please make sure you're subscribed so you can be around for my next video. I adore you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!